Hello, dear colleagues. Hello. Hello, guys. So, next interview. Have you seen the topic? It's gonna be where your teaching path can bring you to. Today I have a very special guest. Hello, Eva. Hello, Rachida. Hello, Tamar. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. So my guest today is Lady Rachida Guelzim from Morocco. Rachida is a very much experienced teacher and she has more than 30 years of experience. She worked in British Council in Rabat and she's textbook writer. She has been for 16 years at the Ministry of Education in Morocco. Exactly. Wow. That's why I said I have a special guest. And Rachida has been a trainer and supervisor since 1995 till the current year. She has a bachelor degree in English and she also has the diploma as TEFL training and supervision specialist. Hello guys, hello everyone. And Rachida is a TKT trainer at the American Language Center for the last 8 years. Today I have a lot of questions to Rachida. Just a moment, I will check. That's right, Rachida sent the request and I'm approving it. So just right now, I was so looking forward to this interview. Hello, Rachida.
Hi, Olga.
Hello, so happy to see you. How are you?
I'm so happy. Well, I'm so happy. At last. We made it.
Yes, exactly. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. There's something special going on today in Rabat because there is a really strong wind and the sky is almost red. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's a change of climate. Normal.
Maybe. But you know,
Good.
we have the saying that if the sky is too red, then tomorrow will be windy. So,
Absolutely. And even rainy.
yeah,
Well, I think it's high time. It's high time.
sure.
It's awesome. So, no, normal. It's great to see you and great to hear you, Olga.
The same, likewise, dear Rachida. So, just to tell our guys, our dear audience, today with Rachida, we're gonna talk about the career in teaching because Rachida has experienced 30 plus years of experience, and we will talk about how to become a textbook writer, what you need to know if you wish to become one, where do you need to start with, how teacher development can change your career if you develop this, and should you consider becoming a teacher training yourself, maybe, if you wish so. Why yes,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. Never stay just like that and do the same thing all your life. Never.
Just move
Never do
forward,
that.
right?
That's just go
Hello.
for it, you know.
Hello from Turkey. Hello, guys. Rachida, you have a really impressive career description, as I just announced to our colleagues. And, you know, it's maybe this is just such a career that other teachers consider as a dream career, as a goal career. So can I please start with such a question? Can you describe to us what it is like to be a teacher, a textbook writer, a teacher who is writing the books? How does your routine differ from when you are just a teacher in a school or in the center? What it looks like? What is your day?
Look, Olga, it's absolutely a different business. It has nothing to do with. I mean, it's not like teaching at all. I mean, first of all, when you start doing textbook writing, it's a completely different matter. First of all, I belong to the National Textbook Commission. So the National Textbook Commission means that you are not free to write whatever you like, whatever you want to do. There is a program. There is the ministry is there watching you, telling you what to do, how to write things, what the program is. So, but we were a team. We were a very, very complete and nice team. And I'm going to tell you about how we did it. You know,
yes.
So. When you talk about textbook writing, first thing that you have to bear in mind is that you must do a lot of research. There's a lot of research going on. It's not like teaching. When you do teaching, you have a teacher's book, you have a student's book, you have a practice book. You can do a lot of research, but not like teacher textbook writing. It's different because you start from scratch. So what you need to do is, first of all, you have to keep up to date. You have to keep up with what's going on. You cannot talk about something that happened in 1912 and you are in 2020. It's impossible. You have students that are different, mentalities that are different, ways of thinking that are different. So you need to keep up to those to the update. So first of all, you need to be a researcher, reach and search for things that are new, that are motivating, that are up to date. Then you need to be yourself all the time. You have to really put yourself in the shoes of the students and the teacher, because you're a textbook writer. So when you write, you need to know, to think, okay, this is the students. How is this student going to understand what I am writing in this book? And how is this teacher going to teach this thing that I have just put in the book? So you really are in you have three things to do. You write, you put yourself in the teacher's shoes, and you also put yourself in the student's shoes. So it's quite, it's tough, it's not easy to do, but it's very challenging. It's very challenging. The other thing I would like also to say is that you need to be aware that there is a textbook map. There is a program to follow. So when you write, you need to bear in mind that you have to start with this, then move to this, then move on to this, etc., etc. There is it has to be graded. It has to be logical. There must be something. I mean, you can't just say, I'm going to start with conditional type 3 while you have never taught a conditional, a future or present or simple past. You see, so there is a map of the book that has to be, you have to bear in mind that you have to follow and, look at all the time, because that's your roadmap for the textbook. And also, you need to be accurate. This is very, very important, because it's not your native language. Absolutely. Accuracy here is very important. So you need to really check everything that you are writing. Because a textbook, when a textbook is out, it's there to be criticized, it's there to be used, it's there to be marketed, it's there to be, so really, you need to really be accurate. First, you have to be accurate about the information and also about the content, the grammatical component, the vocabulary, the function component, cultural component. That is very, very important. You cannot include things fallacies. You cannot do that. I mean, it's something that is serious. I mean, textbook writing is serious business. You cannot just play with that. While when you're teaching, is different. When you're in the classroom, it's a different matter. It's a different business. While
it's not recorded, correct? Whatever you say, it lasts for a second or two, and it's not recorded. But the book.
Exactly. Now, the other thing that is very, very important is you need to be surrounded by a team of people. Number one, people who can write, find texts and adapt those texts. Also, very important is to be aware of plagiarism and the copyright. That's very important. When you write a textbook, bear in mind that there are people who have done some work, so you have to ask permission to get that, if you want to import a text or use it in your textbook, you need to have permission. So that's very important. Plagiarism also is very important. Not to use, there is a certain point where you can use plagiarism, but not too much. Also, you need to have an artist with you. An artist, because a book without images, a book without pictures, a book without colors is not a textbook that is going to be, liked by the students and the teachers. So you really need to have a team among which you have an artist, among which you have a native speaker who can tell you, well, yes, we do this, we say this, or these words are not used in our language because they're really rude, or they're not part of our culture. You need to be consistent. You cannot use at one point British English and at one other point American English, because you are teaching students. So consistency is very, very important when you teach, when you write textbooks. So really, Olga, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Absolutely. It's an art. It's a masterpiece. Come on, to write a
Yeah,
book which lasts for several years at least. Oh my God, it's just bravo.
I really take my hat to all the textbook writers, because it's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work, and they deserve really, really to take our hats to them, because it's a lot of work. And you have the student's book, and you also have the teacher's guide, and the teacher's guide has to have all the procedure. You cannot play with that. It's a procedure. There is logic in what you are saying. There's also a key. If you give an exercise, you have to give a key. And if you give a key, it has to be accurate. You cannot give a key that has mistakes in it. So you really need to be to pay attention. Last but not least, the textbook has to be proofread, because a textbook that has mistakes is a complete flop. So you really have to have somebody who is an expert in proofreading, because there will be mistakes for sure, because nobody is perfect.
No one is a computer.
Nobody is, but still, we can minimize. We have to do our best to minimize that, because a book full of mistakes is a book that will not be liked by neither the students, nor the teachers, nor the inspectors. And even yourself, you say, oh my God, I've done this, I should have paid more attention, etc., etc. So it's really a big establishment. It's not just like, well, yeah, I'm going to write a book. No, you cannot. It's real business. When you say, yeah, you mean business. So you
Rachida, but I would like to ask, for example, if the teacher, anyone who is watching us right now, is thinking about, maybe I can try and become a textbook writer, what would you advise? Where to start from? What are the steps to follow?
Well, as I said, you have to, first of all, don't work alone, because it's a lot of work. When you have a team, it's much, much, much better.
So you have to find the team.
You have to find a team, because you need to have other people's opinions. The more opinions you have, the better. You cannot think. Nobody knows it all. We are vulnerable anyway. So if you have a team, I don't know, whatever, 2, 3 people, 4 people, it's up to you. So you really need to have somebody to work with. Also, you need to know the level of the people, the students you're writing the book for. Is it beginners? Is it intermediate? Is it advanced? What is it exactly? If you know exactly who you're writing for or who you're writing to, there is a program to follow. So you need to have the skeleton of the textbook. You need to know exactly. You might have a look at other books, of course, you're free, and you see what people have done, and you don't reinvent the wheel anyway. You cannot, it's there, So what you do is you look at the skeleton, and with that skeleton, you fill it in with whatever you want to put in it. Here comes the role of creativity, the role of motivation, the role of, I'm looking for something that is really special, that will make my textbook that stand out, not just just a normal textbook. No, I want my textbook to be seen as something really special. And here comes your savoir-faire, what you know, the know-how, see? And you start looking for texts that are nice, up to date, that are, that you can adapt, because texts are there, but they have to be adapted to the level of our students. Okay, we are teaching them. They are not experts. So you really have to adapt those texts with the permission of the writer, and then use in the textbook. So really, and so you have to have a program, you have to have a team to work with, and of course here you have to find the right people, because it's important. Don't find somebody who doesn't care and who doesn't. You have to have reliable people who can work with you all the time, and who can really do things for you that when needed. So it's important. That's mainly how you start thinking about writing a book.
Rachida, and where to find the source of creativity? Where is your source of creativity? How do you know that this
oh my goodness.
topic this topic you should put into your book? This very chance.
First, I mean, Morocco is quite special because we are given a number of topics to follow in our textbooks. So once we have the for example, in our textbooks, when the current textbooks, we have we have, for example, brain drain. Why do our students leave Morocco to go somewhere else? So that's one topic. Humor is one of the topics. Sustainable development. What is sustainable development? So once we have the topics, we start looking for texts, and we start looking for, now I thank God, because there is the internet, there is Google, there is Facebook, there is Instagram. There are places where you can find so many things that, and you can just ask for permission and use those things, because it's there. Wikipedia is there, everything is there. And also, I'm a big fan of magazines, books, and things like that, and stories, Aesop's fables. I like all the hard copy. I'm not only soft copy fan, but I'm also a very hard copy fan. So I go back to the old things and perhaps adapt them, do things with them, and that's where we can find things that can really please our students. You cannot, of course, you cannot just talk about now, because there's also the past, and the past is there. So we need to tell them, well, look, we are not coming from nowhere, but there is a past, there is something to bear in mind, and that's our past, our culture, other people's cultures, issues that have started a long time ago and that's still going on, or maybe that have stopped. So really, we need to, television, internet, books, dictionaries, everything. I mean, there's everything. I mean, just look around you, and there's plenty. I mean, if I show you my book, my house, look at I have a small bookcase full of books, right. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's here.
Yes, we can see it.
You can see it. So that's where I find my creativity. That's where I find. That's where I can find a lot of things. You see. So, and of course, there is also the internet. The internet is just a treasure that God has given us. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yes, and this is actually exactly what you said. This is an art to see the details in the typical things which surround us. It's like photographers or artists. They see something amazing in typical normal things which surround us every day, but we just pass by, but they are there around. Exactly.
It's there for you to take, really. If people tell you, I can't find anything, wrong. That's wrong. Everything is everywhere. You can find even a picture that, just a leaflet. If you find a leaflet, sometimes it tells you something. It gives you an idea. You see, oh, that's a very good idea. I can use that in my textbook. Okay, a picture, something that you have seen, an advertisement. An advertisement can be the basis of a lot of things when you are a textbook writer. Anything, Olga, anything can be used.
Of
anything.
course.
There's no limit. The sky is the limit.
Exactly.
The sky is the limit.
And Rachida, there was the question, could you just give us an idea approximately how much time does it take to write a book, and how many members of the team there should be, so that you can actually do it?
I think you gave the answer, because it depends how many people you have on the team, how many units, how many, if you have, usually what we included in our textbooks is 10 units. So if we are, for example, we were like, there was the boss and we were like 5 people in the team. So every person had 2 units to write. And when we say write, it means student's book, teacher's book, and also practice book. So it's a lot of work. Okay, so it took us, because it's not only textbook writing, but also once you have written the unit, it's fantastic, but it has to be piloted. It has to be. We had teachers in schools to whom we gave the units, and we say, okay, can you teach it? Teach it. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Yeah, you teach it and you tell us what's going on, what went wrong, where is there something that is not really working? How do you have an alternative? How did you cater for it if there is a problem? How did you do it? So for us, piloting was very important, a very important stage in our textbook writing. Once we finished the units, we gave them to the teachers who piloted them in the classrooms. Once it was done, we made changes, we proofread, we looked at the images, etc., etc. We also provided flashcards, which is very important. We had a big box of flashcards that the artists made, and we provided them with the textbooks. And that's very important because it makes the teacher's life easier when you have big flashcards that you can use in the classroom. That was the time of flashcards. Now, with the IWB, with the internet, with the phones, with iPads, it's easier. But before, we didn't have that. So the teacher had to have some materials to use in the classroom. So we provided 50 big flashcards that they could use in the classroom. So it took us, to answer your question, Olga, between a year to 2 years to write a book, to write a textbook. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. So we wrote, there was a Steps to English, that was the first one. Then there was Further Steps to English. Then there was English in Life 1, English in Life 2. We had also Bridges, we have Highway. So it's a series of books. And when I say the name, it means 3 books, because there's a student's book, teacher's book, and guide and practice book. So it's not only one. And so we typed everything. It was all typed, and the big problem was when you lost everything you typed on the computer, and that was gone.
Oh no!
That was a bad day. Oh my God! It happened to me. It happened to us. I swear to God. Olga, it did happen to us. So that was the time when you have discs, the small diskettes, the square ones, where you put them in the computer, and sometimes the disc would just go, nothing in the disc. Oh my God, Olga, that was very difficult. Very difficult.
I can imagine. Course, oh my God, I stopped breathing for a moment.
Olga, 300 pages that were just gone. And that was, but anyway, the happiness that we felt was when you finished a unit, you gave it to the teacher to teach, and they were coming back and say, oh, this is beautiful. This is fantastic. This is really something that we don't have in the other books, etc., etc.
But actually, so really, do you receive the feedback from the real teachers? Do they come to you and say, we use it, we love it,
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a meeting every end of the week on the Friday, and we discussed every detail. They were paid. They were paid by the ministry. But it was good, because at least you had an idea of what was going on, not going on well, etc., etc. But we had to do that. We had to do it that way. And so, as I was saying earlier, it's not that easy, but it's rewarding. It's rewarding
and it's very motivating.
It's a beautiful gift when you look at, now I can meet some of my students, and I say, some of the students say, which book did you use? I used English in Life, and I loved it. I say, see, that's what I want to hear. That there were people who really liked the textbook, and they really appreciate it, and they spoke English fluently. So the whole idea is that our textbook was a way of making people speak English and write English and use it in different situations in an adequate way. That was the reward. You see? So
absolutely, your speech is so motivating, Rachida. There is a question, may I please announce it? If you write one bestseller, does it help you to write another book easily, or will it be a new challenge? Thanks for sharing your experience.
Well, look, it's both. It's both, in fact. It's once you have done it once, the first time, that that fright, that scare that you had before is gone, because now you say, now I know I shouldn't do this. I should do this. I should avoid this. I shouldn't waste time on this. So you really get the trade of the tricks of the trade. But as you said, it's also a new challenge, because maybe it's a new level. Maybe it's a new way of looking at how you write a textbook. Maybe you are obliged to follow a certain trend, a certain method of teaching. Before, I remember that when I was a student, we used, our teacher was parroting. We were just repeating. We had what was the name? I can't remember the name of the textbook we had, but it was completely different way, methodology. If there is a new methodology, then you have to follow that methodology, and here comes the challenge. Here comes the challenge. It's not the grammar translated method. It's not it's the communicative way of using the language. It's a competency based approach sometimes. It's the lexical approach sometimes. So you really have to know what sort of methodology you're going to be using, depending on what is trendy. You cannot do things which are which date back to the 60s, and we are in 2020. You cannot. So
Absolutely
really,
not.
yeah. So you really need, if it's a challenge, because you need to follow what's going on. If not, your book will not be sold, and it would be a complete flop, and you would have wasted your money. You see, or the money of somebody else, So yeah, it's a challenge. It's always challenging. It's always challenging.
But despite this fact, your speech is motivating. Really, I hope that if anyone from our colleagues who is listening to us and was considering to become a textbook writer will certainly become one after your speech,
Why not? Why not?
sharing your experience.
Olga, we said just when we started this interview, we said that nobody should be static.
Yeah.
Nobody. And it's a shame that you stay in the same thing, doing the same thing for 40 years. I believe in change. I believe in variety. I believe in emancipation. I believe in development. You said, you mentioned that at the beginning. I believe that every one of us has something, is rich in a way. And so some people, maybe a teacher can be, average teacher could be a fantastic textbook writer. You never know. And vice versa. Maybe an average textbook writer could be a fantastic teacher or trainer. You never know. That's why I think people, teachers and we in the profession should always, touch upon things and try to do things. There's nothing wrong with it. That's
Absolutely.
why.
Absolutely. Rachida, I have another question. As I mentioned in the beginning, you are TEFL training and supervision. You have a TEFL training supervision diploma, and you've been a TKT trainer, teacher trainer. And of course, everyone who is watching us now knows about the teacher development, different courses, how you can develop your skills and improve and always go forward. But we know about this from the position of teachers who are taking the courses. Could you please reveal us the backstage of these courses as a teacher trainer? What is the benefit in it? Why should teachers take courses? How they can help their career? Do you have maybe any real life stories?
Look, Olga, I think we're taking it from what we have just said right now. We said that nobody should stay static.
Right.
And the TKT, I've been doing this with Paul Harvey, we've been doing this together. And both of us are just crazy. When it comes to training, we become crazy, we just go crazy.
What do you mean crazy?
What we have noticed is that when we get our trainees, They are tabula rasa. They don't know anything about teaching. And when they come in and they are like that, we take them for 36 hours, and there is a change. Oh, Olga, you should see that. There's a change that you can see every day happening, taking place in their eyes. You can see the spark in their eyes. What happens is that they become teachers little by little, and what we do is that we provide them with skills, with knowledge, with tips, with things that you can use to become a motivating teacher. A normal teacher we don't want. We want somebody who stands out. We want a teacher who, when in the class, students will not like to leave the class. They love that teacher first, love at first sight. And this is what's happening with TKT. When we do it, and we have been doing it all these years, we when they come out of that program, Olga, I swear to God, you have new people. You have new mentality, a new way of looking at teaching. Some people told me, Rachida, I have never thought that I would be a teacher, but you have given me that flavor, that that need, that really motivation to teach. And that's thanks to the program, the TKT that we have, really. And we have done it to hundreds of students, hundreds. And what happened is that they have found a job. That's what I like about it. Thanks to that, that training and that what we have given them, they have been able to find a job. If not even, sometimes not even in the teaching profession. They have found a job as a flight attendant, as businessman, as even trainers. We have trained people who have become trainers. And so when we speak about TKT, what happens is that even if you don't know how to teach, we give you those tools that make teaching easy and enjoyable. Because what happens is that the way they were taught is completely different from the way we provide the training. They say, we have never thought that we could be teaching like this. It's always standing, using the walls, using the ceiling, using the floor, using pictures, using people, using yourself, using everything, everything. When you are in the class, when you are training them, you tell them, look, there is a lot of treasures. There are a lot of treasures around you. Use them. And so they get it. And what happens is that once we teach them how to teach writing, speaking, reading, vocabulary, grammar, how to do interactions in the classroom, how to plan a lesson, how to use extra materials, how to use supplementary materials, how to use a lot of things. What happens is that they say, okay, well, we have everything. What we need now is just us, me. I need to be a good teacher. So we give them that, sort of confidence. And we do a lot of micro teaching. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of observation. We talk to them very frankly. So they know that, well, they maybe went wrong in this way, but maybe the following time they will be better. So really, what happens is that once you get on board on that adventure of TKT, your eyes open and you have that spark. And I love that spark when we finish that, the program, when we finish those 36 hours, you can see it. And we can hear it from a lot of people who have been our trainees, Paul and myself. Say, Rachida and Paul, you have been our, that small thing that happened to us came from you, and it's contagious and it's fantastic, you see. So that's what it is all about TKT, you see.
Rachida, Eva is asking me to say hello to you from her. Warmest regards from Eva.
Eva!
Eva.
Thank you, Eva. Hello,
she's
Eva.
Watching us, and she's sending the comments, and she's sending the regards and everything. Rachida, you mentioned Paul Harvey. Could you please tell us for how long you've known each other and how long you've been working together?
Oh wow, a long time, a long time. It's more than 15 years or something, more than 15 years. Because I was at the British Council for 31 years, and he has been there, I think, for the last 17 years. So from the minute he came into the British Council, we just became friends. But we worked together as a tandem later. When I introduced him to my friends at the American Language Center, I said, okay, this is a man that we want to use, and he was very happy about it. So we started working together for the Americans who are doing that for free for people, for participants. And I introduced them also to another institution. So we are working also with the Express Publishing and Bookland. We're doing workshops for teachers, and now he introduced me to SR, teaching and learning. So we do a lot of things together. We get along very well. We split the program together, and we are very good at it. We are very good at it together. We get along very well, and he's a lovely person to be with. Very efficient, very punctual, very professional. A lovely person to be with, and a very good friend of mine as well. But he's very professional.
I can absolutely approve it, because I see that Rachida is the same passionate, is the same as Paul Harvey, and this is what we actually have in common. Rachida, your passion is impressive, enjoyable watching someone like you speaking.
Thank you.
So it's just thank you so much. Rachida, could you please highlight what are the most challenging points for the teachers during the TKT preparation? What are the difficulties they face, and what are the most frequent questions they ask you?
Okay. When you start a TKT program, number one is my advice is, first of all, take as much as possible from those trainers. Take as much as possible. Make notes, read, ask questions, be present. Just because those people are there, whoever it is. I mean, not necessarily Paul and myself, but whoever the trainer is, take as much as possible from that person, because they know. They know a lot. They have experience. They know. So take advantage of their knowledge. That's number one. Okay. So number one. That's also not only the content of what they are giving you, but also the way they're doing it. Because what happens is that I can give you the content, Olga, but the way I do it is different from the way you do it. I might be more popular. You might be more popular than me. So what we should do when going through a TKT training is really watching and observing the way the trainers do it, and copy. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, well, Rachida did it that way, I want to do it that way. Paul did it that way, I want to do it that way. And if it's successful, why not? If it's successful, it's there to be taken. So I always tell my trainees, look, we're doing it in front of you. Come and do it in front of us. Learn, do it. Once you do it, you get it, okay? Because learning by doing a TKT is very, very important. So what we do, it's too bad that with the confinement we cannot do it. But what we do when it's a face-to-face TKT training, everything we do it, and they do it. So when they leave the room, they're self-confident. They know they can do it. They have seen it done. They have done themselves, and that's really a very good recipe. The other thing I would like also to add is, when someone is doing a TKT, make notes. Make notes of everything you see and you hear. Make notes, because we tend to forget. And very nice things, just, because there is so much in TKT. You might think, well, it's nothing. No, there is so much, and there is the book as big as this. And that's also a very, very useful tool. Once we will be doing the TKT, we will send people to read, do some reading. And again, here, my really a big piece of advice is read, and read. Read and read. Just take your time and get more, do more research, read about things. If you don't like something, go and look for better thing. There's everything. Now YouTube is there. You have everything. Your internet is there. Just type in anything and you'll find it. So there is no, I think for me, there is no reason to say, I couldn't find it. No, there's nothing about it. There is. There is. And so, when you read, when you look for things, you find. If you don't do it, don't ask people to do it for you. No, do it yourself. Do it yourself, because that's how you start really emancipating. And also that's how you learn, because I believe in one thing, that we never stop learning. And I think, Olga, I told you when you told me what are the things that you really believe in, I said we never stop learning. Every day you can learn something new. And so one of the things that I really advise people to do is this: is also read about things, look for things, read books, share things with people. Sharing is very important as well. When you share with me, I can also send you things, and the more you have, the better. The more you have, the better. You see?
Sure, of course. Thank you, Rachida. And what about, so if someone takes TKT and then the time passes, and they aim to become the teacher trainer themselves once in their life, where to proceed? Which steps to follow? How can I know that I'm moving forward to my goal to become the teacher trainer?
Very good question. And first of all, there is one thing that we need to agree about. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So you need to be a person who wants to work. This is not a job for lazy people. It's a job for very hardworking people, very motivating people. If you are not a motivator, don't do it, because it's contagious. If you're really motivated, you motivate your trainees. If you are complete flop, your trainees will be a complete flop. So don't be a dead fish in the classroom, because that won't work. You really have to be motivated. You really have to be there and show them that, look at me, I'm a trainer, but I always tell them, look, I'm 63, but look at me, I jump all around the class. So what about you? You're only 20. What you should be doing is this, and you should do it with a lot of, with a smile, with a lot of sense of humor, with a lot of friendship, with a lot of adequate. You have to be adequate in everything you're doing.
Vibrant, to be energetic, right?
Yes, and also, so motivation is very, very important. It's a lot of work. I would like to add one thing. We need to know that nobody is perfect. So what we need to do is reflect, every time you do a training session, reflect on what went right, what went wrong, so that in the following session, you know exactly what's happening. I mean, nobody is perfect, nobody. So that's very important. And this also takes me to the fact that you should know your participants. You should know them. You should know the people who are with you. Have a look, and see what sort of people you have in front of you. Because you might be in the middle of nowhere with people with a completely different mentality, or you might be somewhere where people are really, like a popcorn, and it's a different way of looking at things. So know the people that you have in front of you. Next thing that is really, really important for me anyway, is adapt your knowledge, or what you're going to be doing, to the people that you have, the participants you have. Adapt it. Sometimes their English is not that good. Sometimes, nobody. I mean, you can have some people whose English is not very good. So you really need to adapt your way of training people to the level of those people. So really, that's part of knowing your trainees. It's very, very important. I also believe in a smile. When you get into that classroom with a smile, it makes a big difference. So those people have come to get something from you. If you are in a bad mood, if you are sad because something has happened, they have nothing to do with that. Once you close that door, close it It's you are in another place, you are with other people, they have nothing to do with what happened outside. You cannot, you have to look at those people, big a smile. You start your training session with something that can make the ambiance and the atmosphere nice and easy, which again it takes me to the fact that when you come into your session, know what you are doing. Don't come if you're not ready. You have to prepare, because training is preparation. Do not come into your session without knowing what you are doing. That's very, very important. You cannot come into a place to teach something that you're not really, controlling, that you're not aware of. So know your subject, know what you are doing. Always check your materials. Always be ready to share with your and accept opinions and discuss. So these things are very important. Sometimes you get people who are very stubborn, who think they know it all. Some people are like that. But what you have to do, you have to really be very, flexible and say, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I agree. But there are other ways of looking at it. Maybe you should look at what Scott Turnbury is saying, what Jeremy Harman is saying, or Russell Stannard is saying. Just look at those people, and yeah. So really, when you are doing teacher training, it's a world. It's another world. It's magic. I think it's magic. There's a lot of magic in teacher training, because you're bringing new things to people. You're sharing a lot of things. As I said, you must go crazy, because there is no limit. You just show them that if you are a good trainer, you can be a good teacher. You can make good teachers. If you are an amorphous and a dull trainer, you are going to make dull teachers and amorphous teachers. So really, there is contamination. It's not the COVID contamination, it's the teacher training contamination motivation. It's the motivation that really makes a good trainer. It's really important. And of course, there are other things. I cannot tell you everything, but these
Absolutely
are just
not.
these are the prerequisites to good training and a good trainer. You see,
the
so
most
knowing your
prominent
subject.
ones.
Knowing your subject, be flexible, be smiling, accepting other people's opinions, be punctual, be nice, I don't know, so many things that make a whole, a good trainer. There are so many things. These are only a few things that Paul and I share, and we do it that way. So even when we finish our TKT, we always make our students, we give them our email addresses, and we tell them, look, if you need something, call us, send a message, we'll be there to help you. We can send you things, just, and that's very motivating, you see. It's very motivating.
And of course, Rachida, I should announce that on the 31st of October, am I correct?
Yeah,
Rachida
exactly.
and Paul are going to start the TKT preparation module 1. So dear teachers,
Yes.
dear colleagues, this is your chance if you were waiting for the right moment. So here it is. You can find the link in the description, in the profile description of myself, Teach.Love.Earn. So you can follow the link and you can register for the course. You can leave your email address in case you have any questions. So you're very welcome to ask, to send the direct message to Rachida or to me, and please register, please take part in the course, because here is the moment, right, Rachida?
I just want to add one point that I forgot to talk about, and that we, Paul and I, do a lot. We always use variety. We never use the same thing, twice. We always try to find something original to make our session unforgettable. And this, I wanted to really share it with my colleagues here, that variety is the salt of your teaching or your training. And also always be ready to have a plan B, because sometimes things don't work. So always be ready to have something on the side. You never know, something might not work. Plan B, and here you are, your session is going. Okay, so if you want to be a trainer, always bear in mind these things. And of course, I'm going back to GKT now. We are starting, and I will be the first one to start on the 31st, Saturday 31st. So I will be the first to start, and then Paul will be on air on Sunday. He'll be doing the Sunday, I will be doing Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday for like 4 weeks, I think, until the 22nd of November. So yeah, come and join us. I mean, you'll see, it's great, it's fantastic. There are a lot of things to learn, and it's going to be very, very positive for everyone who is doing it. Really, very positive. As I've seen it happen.
Dear colleagues, you must benefit from this. Use this moment, definitely. Take a look at the link in the description box and just follow it to register. Rachida, probably the last question which I would like to ask. You've been so experienced, but could you please share something like advice to yourself some time ago, some years ago, that you can't give advice to yourself younger? What would it be?
I've got 2 or 3 things which really, for me, with experience, I've found very, very, very important and precious. Number 1 would be for me planning. When you plan, you are confident. When you come into a class or a training session without planning, there is no way. You need to plan. Planning is very important. It's a very important step and stage, either in your teaching or in your as a trainer. So, and I have learned that, you know, with time, I have learned that the more you plan, the more confident you are. The more confident you are, you know what you're doing. Everything is there in front of you. If there is something going wrong, you have your plan B again. This is what I learned within all these years, since 1982 until now, that when something goes wrong, always have something ready. So always have something ready. Whether it's your students or your trainees, I have a motto. I say, if you don't keep them busy, they will keep you busy. So always find something to fill in your time, to find the, you know, if there is a problem, find a solution to it. Always, you know, anticipate. You never know, something might happen. Anticipate. Always have something, you know, with you that can be used, you know, activities, things that can be used like that, that can make your session or your lesson really a good lesson. The other thing is, every day, for me, and also for Paul, bring something nice, something new. Bring into the classroom or in your training session a nice way of doing something. Something that you have just heard, for example, on TV or on the net, or you have seen on the net. Use it. Show that you're up to date. Show that you know things. You know, try to show them that, to show either your trainees or your students that we are here, that we are following things, and we are using those things, and we're showing you how to use them with your students or with your trainees. Use the world around you. Every day bring something nice, bring variety, bring joy into the classroom. A teacher who doesn't bring joy to the classroom, I'm not very fond of. So
be the source of inspiration.
Yes, he or she should be there to really make that class or that training session enjoyable, as you know, as much as possible. Because if you do it that way, they will leave with a lot of, you know, with other things, with, you know, with emancipated, with a lot of joy, happy, and unforgettable sessions. Unforgettable people. As I said, I have met people I have trained, and they come to me and say, Rachida, wow, we cannot forget you. You have been our source of inspiration, you said. And that is the best gift ever. When you see somebody who says, look, you have really shown me how to be a teacher. You have really given me the opportunity to become a good teacher. That's our goal, in fact. That's what we wanted. We wanted to show that teaching is very agreeable, very enjoyable, provided you are also a source of joy and a source of enjoyment. So really, that's why I really, learned all these years, and I would like to share. That's what I wanted to share with all my colleagues around the world, and I hope that this message gets through and that they agree with me. I hope.
Absolutely, I'm sure about it. Rachida, thank you so much for this session. I'm inspired like to the highest level for sure.
It's
Thank
great.
you. Thank you, dear colleagues, for your comments. Thank you for being active. Rachida, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that I have brought something, at least one piece of information that could help. And don't hesitate if there is anything else that you want to ask, or if people want to ask questions, we are ready to help. There's no problem. There's no
Yes,
problem. Thank
we
you
are
very much,
there
Olga.
for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachida.
Have a very nice evening, and I'll see you, inshallah, very soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.